Everybody, today we're going to talk about CELPIP speaking. We're going to talk about part two because this is a confusing question. A lot of people have the confusion about how many points they're supposed to say in this part. Now, in our templates, we explain that, and in our course, we explain that with samples. You can check out the course in the description. But today I'm going to tell you about how many points you're supposed to do. I'm also going to give you an understanding of why you're supposed to do those points. So it comes down to quality versus quantity. When you do too many points and you do not explain those points, you're just filling in a sentence after sentence. These are too many points without enough description. How that hurts you is when you think that you have to do 6 to 7 points in 1 minute, it stresses you. It's too much to do in a minute, even if you speak really fast. And that leads to problem number 2. People speak really fast and they don't pause enough. They have no connections or connectors between their sentences, which is going to make your vocabulary mark lower, your coherence mark lower, and it's going to seem very, it's going to seem like there's lots of points just there with that mushed in without enough connectors or cohesion. So that presents a lot of problem in vocabulary mark deduction and structure deduction. But also, when I speak about vocabulary, another problem is when you say multiple sentences. For example, let's say the question is talk about your favorite vacation. And you say multiple sentences like, I went to Venice and that was a great vacation because it's beautiful. Venice has great food. Venice is cheap. Venice has a lot of natural beauty. What you're doing is you're just saying Venice is this, is this, is this. The sentence structure is the same throughout. The examiner will never give you 9 or more because there is no coherence. The points are not related. No sentence is complex. You're just saying this is this, this is this. Remember in grade 2 or grade 3 when you had a word and you learned how to make a sentence and you just said, I saw this. I saw a bird. I saw a cat, whatever. So you're not making really creative sentences. You're just doing that to fill in your homework, and the teacher recognizes that and they tell you to make different sentences. The same thing happens in CELPIP speaking. So I'm going to do a sample here and I'm going to show you what you need in sentences. Every sentence should be unique. Every sentence should be different. It should have detail and description. Now, if you do that in every sentence, you are going to make only 2 to 3 points maximum in this part. Same goes for other questions. If you're ever in doubt how many parts you need, how many answers you need, or points you need per question, first of all, check out our templates. They're on YouTube for free, and the more detailed ones are in our course. Once again, link is in the description. But whenever you're confused how many points you should do, always go for a lesser. Remember, in all 8 CELPIP questions, you just need 2 to 3 points maximum, even the 90-second ones, okay? Part 5 and 3 and 4 are only different because you don't have to come up with points yourself. The points are already presented in pictures, so that's where you don't have to worry about it. But otherwise, 2 to 3 points are definitely enough. Now, again, to make sure that I get a lot of points in my answer, I'm gonna use connectors between my points. So I'm going to use furthermore, moreover, accordingly, those kinds of things. I'm also going to include adjectives and adverbs in my points. For example, if I say that Venice is a beautiful city, I'm going to talk about how it's beautiful. It's literally, so I'm going to use the lees, the adverbs. It's literally the most populated tourist attraction on Earth because of how beautiful it is on land and water, using a bunch of nouns. On water, however, the route that it takes is scenic with magnificent buildings. So now you have scenic, magnificent. You have some adjectives to define your point. And then I can continue for a while. I'll pause, go to my next point. But you see within the sentence, by using good descriptions and defining it more and more, you're going to show the examiner your range of vocabulary, your ability to expand, and also to make the sentence complex, because the longer the sentence is, the more complex it is. Keep in mind, you don't need to make every sentence complex. Some can be simple. In fact, a combination of simple and complex sentences is what we need. Now, when we do the intro and conclusion, somewhere there you would place a simple sentence automatically. So don't worry about it. Just focus on making your descriptions longer. So each point will be long, and you will have few points in total, not 6 points or 7 points in 1 minute, but just 2 or 3 quality points. So let's start. I'm going to do an actual answer for you. I'm going to start my timer here for 1 minute. That is the time for part 2. And let's talk about my favorite car. Okay, let's talk about that. All right. There are many car brands that are really pushing the competition to its limits these days. My favorite brand in particular would be Toyota. Toyota is the symbol of not only, I think, Japan or Japanese innovation, but also affordability. It's a car that is simple, yet with a lot of fancy features at a very good economic range that everybody almost can afford. Moreover, Toyota nowadays comes with lots of technological features such as lane assist, park assist, even self-driving, which makes the whole experience quite convenient. Finally, I think Toyota has shown itself to be a really reliable car. When driving in Canada in minus 40 degrees, for example, I am not in fear with my Toyota. I know it's not gonna stop in the middle of the road, unlike many other brands such as electric cars. I feel confident in my Toyota, and that is why I would consider it to be my favorite car brand. All right, that's it. That's about 59 seconds. So here I have 3 points. What is the winner point? Second is reliability, and the third one, the first one, was affordability. And you see that each point was well defined. There were so many adjectives that I was forcibly using. There was convenient, affordable, economic, and a few more that I, of course, forgot. So using them and being aware while speaking that you are supposed to use them is important. In normal speaking, if I'm talking to a friend, I wouldn't use all those adjectives. There's no need for it. But here I'm consciously trying to do that. I kept watching my time as well. And in the exam, you don't have a digital timer. You have that loading bar that continues, right? You keep watching that. And with that, you pace your first, second, and third point. Make sure everything gets in. Between the points, I used connectors. And that made everything very coherent. And that's it, guys. When you see the HZad templates in speaking, you see part 1 has 3 points, part 2, as I mentioned, has 2 to 3 points. As I said, parts 3, 4, and 5, you would have to look at the picture to see how many points you can come up with. Part 6, again, has 2 to 3 points, sometimes 4 if you have the time for it. Part 7, which is the opinion question, 3 points, the first, secondly, thirdly. And part 8 also depends on the picture, but you should aim for about 2 to 3, well, depends on the picture really, but you should aim there a little bit more, 3 to 4 points, because there could be a lot of detail in the picture. So I hope now you're able to understand how many points you need per question. Make sure to always do lesser if you're in doubt. Even 2 are good if you just explain them nicely using a good range of vocab and connectors. I hope this video helps. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk very soon. Thank you.